Hey, what's up? It's your girl Sequoia, and welcome to Love Chronicles, the special edition of the Commas podcast, where we explore the intersection between business and love. On this episode, we sit down with Alisa Gumbs, the Deputy Chief Content Officer at Black Enterprise, during their Black Enterprise Disruptor Conference, and she talks to us about divorce, the fear of failure, and what you can do to create a successful relationship on your first or next go-round. Let's get into it.
Welcome to Commas.
Commas is all things tech.
You see culture and technology coming together.
Life hacks.
The practicality right now in the inefficiency of the internet of buying and selling stuff is extraordinary.
Entrepreneurship advice.
I think the first thing is you got to understand your business inside out.
Love and tech.
I've almost reduced dating to kind of this very momentary snap of a person.
It's going to be a fire show.
I've yet to see something these days that's truly differentiated.
New advice and new inspiration every show.
This really is about the next generation of creators going faster, further than we did.
Now let's start stacking them commas.
Alisa, super excited to be talking to you. I know that we obviously have a bit of a past.
We do.
Black Enterprise.
Your family.
I am family. So I want to talk to you though today about tech, business, love, and life, and like how it all like blends together. Because I feel like entrepreneurs are dating and they're trying to figure it out, or they're married and they're trying to figure it out. But like, what is the universal like way to go about that, right? Everybody has their own subjective way, but like, what makes the most sense for people? I want to give them good advice, sound advice, practical advice. Where are you in your stage?
Well, I love how, I'm going to go back for a second because I love how you started that. And I think always of like the Black women entrepreneurs that I talk to for a living. And so it's like you have these women who, you know, have it all professionally. They're at the top of their game. And then they're like, yes, but my personal life is a different story. And exactly. And it's, you know, apparently intimidating to be a Black woman who has their stuff together. Some men say they like it, but they don't really like it, you come to find out. And so it's like, how do you be you 100% and then go out there and still, you know, at the end of a long day when you get home, find what I told my current boyfriend I was looking for, which is a soft spot to land.
Right. I struggle with that so much because you present this certain person
Exactly.
to the exterior,
To the world.
and then they buy into it. Anybody. Like,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And so that you have this persona, but that's not who you really are.
Right.
So how do you navigate like, this is not who I am. You need to get to know me. Like, how do we?
Yeah, and also you go out there and you sort of do battle with the world all day long. So even if that is who you are, you're like, can I have a minute of downtime when I come home? But yeah, I totally get it. I am like an only child. I was always that kid that was expected to do these things. The oldest cousin from an immigrant family, you know, you've got this position of duty and responsibility and you're expected to be an overachiever. I got like a 99 on a test once and my mother was like, where's the other point? You know, like, so when you meet someone who you want to partner with in life, you're like, I need someone who I don't always have to be that person with. I need someone who I can trust to take down these walls, who I can be vulnerable around, who I can get comfortable like showing the sides of myself that I don't show to the whole world. If I want to cry, if I want to be clingy for a second, like, you know, those things that normally you're like, no, that's not me. I'm going to do that. And so it's difficult, you know. I wish that I had gotten it right on the first try. I didn't necessarily. I'm divorced, yes, which I was catching up with an attendee here who's was a classmate of mine for like years and years and years. And she's like, yep, in the same boat. Like I'm talking to so many women in their mid-40s who are like, yep, I went through that all the first time and it didn't quite work out for me. And don't be sorry because I'm much happier now.
Right, but what did you do differently? Like what made you go, okay, I gotta get out of this and I'm gonna do something different this time?
I think that, you know, I never personally wanted to get divorced. Like it was not on my list. I thought I was going to be one and done. My parents have been married for 53 years this year. And so it was very difficult to me to accept that I had quote unquote failed, at something.
Which is so interesting because in entrepreneurship, when you fail, you're looked at as a failure, but you have to do that as a learning.
Right.
So that's so interesting.
And I think it's very true in love and relationships as well. And I was totally feeling Tia Mowry when she was going through her divorce and she was talking about it, and everyone was giving her so much shade for saying, like, it's not a failure. It's like when you go to college and you learn things. And I was like, let's give her some grace. Maybe she didn't state it in the way that you would have stated it, but if you talk to any woman who's been divorced, they'll be like, nah, I feel what she's saying. What she's saying is, I learned some things, and just because this relationship didn't last a lifetime, it wasn't a failure. I don't regret at all getting married. Like, the experiences that I got through that are not things that I would trade for anything in the world. And even knowing what I know now, I would go back and do it all again because it got me to this place. And there are just some life lessons I had to learn that I wouldn't have learned any other way.
So what did you do differently now?
This time around, I approached it, I wanted to have a much truer and more equal partnership than I had the last time around. I used to think that I could control everything.
That's the problem with business women. We want to control.
I know.
We want to control so bad.
Or that I should control things. And so there were a lot of times that I was making decisions on my own, and I wasn't doing it, for like selfish reasons. I was like, well, he's busy with that. He's tied up with this, or this thing is wrong. Let me just fix it. This is my role to fix these things and to present this, nice, calm, optimistic, pleasant, happy. I had a therapist once tell me that, you're up here pretending everything's okay. Like you're in Pleasantville because you're like, we both can't be drowning. Someone has to stay up here and feel the sun and bring the sun. But if that's not their experience right now, then they're like, could you please just acknowledge that stuff is messed up and
that's so
come fix it with me. So I really had to do a lot of work on myself. And I also had to answer the question, what do I really want? I don't think I knew that the first time around. I fell in love first, and I was like, I want to build a life with this person because I'm in love with them. I didn't look for the right person to build a life with based on the life that I wanted or the way that I build. And so this time around, I think that I spent a lot of time thinking about what is really important to me and what is not, what is important to other people, what was important to my parents, any of that outside stuff. This time around, I'm like, I really just have to ask the tough questions and then listen to that little voice when she talks to you. If you've asked for clarity and you get it, you have to be courageous enough to act on it.
Yeah. I know you have to head out, but what is some sound advice that you would give to women entrepreneurs, women in business that they would need to know to find their future love?
I would say to know what their real deal breakers are. Don't accept the things that will tear you apart on the inside if you accept. And then make the decisions that are best for you and your well-being, even if they're the tough decisions, even if they're not decisions that you want to make. You cannot choose someone else before you choose you and then expect that it's all going to work out.
And also the one thing that you added earlier is don't control it.
Don't control it. Yes, we're not in control of everything. As much as we thought we were, we would like to be. It's not how the universe works.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. This was amazing. I'm super happy to catch up with you.
You too.
Tell people how they can find you.
Oh, well, I sort of have a love-hate relationship with social media, but I am on it. I'm on Instagram at Amegee, Amegee. But the best way to find me is on LinkedIn because I like to keep business.
Thanks for checking out the latest episode of Love Chronicles on the Commas Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your content so you don't miss an episode. If you are trying to find your voice and you want to create your own content, whether that be podcasts, from the stage, or on social media, go ahead and log on to www.hollywoodtosiliconvalley.com. That's hollywoodtosiliconvalley.com. And sign up for our Find Your Voice program because we want to help you tell your stories and find your voice. Until next time, may your heart be open and your ambitions soar.
Let's keep stacking them commas.
Stacking them commas.